silly ballroom dancing. I was bowling all right, but I mean, a little different. Yeah, but he loved me. My daddy loved me. Yes, he did. You know, I'll never forget the time when I just got with the wrong crowd, just like a lot of you. I really did, and I wanted to be one of them. I didn't want to be a little simple country boy anymore. I wanted to be, you know, one of the little city dudes. Well, they were smart, you know. I mean, they'd been around, and I was dumb as a cow. Of course, I could chop cotton and work in the garden and ride a horse and milk a cow and things. But I wasn't in the know. I mean, in the big city of Dawson, Texas, 849 population. But when I got over there in high school, you know, they taught me the deck of cards. See, my mother said those things are mean, they're ugly, they're gambling cards. I was scared of them. I really was, man, they're nasty. People gamble with them old cards. I still hate them. But I got over there and they said, well, this is just what we do. And so they just began to teach me. And my mother taught me the dice. Oh, listen, they're gambling pieces and you wouldn't touch them. Don't you touch one of those things. I mean, I did for a long time. Got over there, you know, they said, well, we go to the drugstore, we just hide dice for the drink, see. And I thought, boy, that's so smart. I'll be one of them, see. Had a one-armed bandit. You ever seen a one-armed bandit? You know what a one-armed bandit is? Huh? Yeah, a slot machine. Talk about dumb. When I look back at the dumb things I've done, I marvel at God's even let me live. I'd go up there and my mother would give me a dozen red Rhode Island eggs and say, son, you go sell them now, and you take the money. And I'd just get 10 cents, 2 buffalo nickels. She'd give me a pound of the most beautiful yellow butter that she'd made from that Jersey cow, and I can see it now. You talk about firm and nice. She'd say, son, you sell this pound of butter to Mr. F.B. Holloway, and you get 15 cents, and that's 3 nickels, and you can have that. That's your spending money. Now, that made a quarter right there, didn't it? I mean, a dozen eggs, pound of butter. I was pretty well loaded when I got that. You know what I did? I walked right down that little silly, sinful, sorry, stinking drugstore, walked back in the back. That little one-armed bandit standing there looking at me. And I was looking at it. I reached down in my pocket. I pulled out that buffalo nickel and I said, I'm going to put 1 nickel in you. And that's all. I mean, I'm not going to give 5 nickels to that outfit, but I hope I'll just kind of, you know, that thing will begin to turn and all them lemons will line up or oranges or something, you know, and I can just hear it. Man, that thrill me and things, all them things fall out of there, you know, maybe 12 of them, 8 of them, 16 nickels at one time, you know. And I thought, boy, and that thing was just, I wound up by putting all of my buffaloes in there, every last one of them, and I walked away completely dry. I didn't have nothing. My mother worked for those eggs and that pound of butter. Wasn't I stupid? Not any more stupid than some of y'all. You've been gambling with your soul, with your body, your life. You've been playing with the hippie world, the dope world. You've been gambling. You lost. You never win in sin. How did you never win in sin? And on down the road, this little old country boy was goes. Until one night, and I haven't often told this, one night, some old boys were with me, and we went down to the carnival, and I tried to win, chunking, you know, the deals. You remember that? Boy, listen, I was a ball player. I mean, I could throw it straight. I killed a jackrabbit, hit him right in the head. I mean, with a rock. And I mean, I'd walk to the field throwing it close and come back throwing. And I'd go down there and I decided, I don't know what happened. I guess I fell out of the carnival, but I cut the tent ropes. It wasn't very long till the old one-eyed constable had that great Dane dog. Oh, that's the biggest dog I ever saw in my life. Every commander of our county, including Lester Roloff, was scared of that dog. Or when old Joe McElroy would come walking down the street and that old dog come walking along behind him, he could tell that old dog to go get something out of my pocket, and I guarantee he'd get it. That old dog, you talk about a trained Great Dane dog. day, and that old dog come walking up to me. He's one-eyed. I can see him now. Toughest man that ever enforced the law in Dawson, Texas, Navarre County. I mean, everybody in that whole county is scared of Joe McElroy. He come walking up to me. He looked at me and he said, "Lester." I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "I know what you did. You cut some tent ropes." Talk about it. Man, I could almost feel the electricity from the electric chair. It scared me to death. And everybody knew my mother and daddy were reputable, wonderful, honest, hard-working, and Melvin and Dale were wonderful boys, and yet little old mischievous, devilish Lester, see, was drifting down the stream. Drifting on down the stream. Started off with his cards, his dice, and his carnivals, and cutting the tent rope. And it looked like my world caved in on me. Caved in on me. Ah, the wages of sin. I thought, it's got me now. It's got me now. And that old man looked at me, and he didn't lock me up. He didn't lock me up, but I tell you what he did do. He got in touch with my daddy. Now then, you're going to be surprised, and then when I tell you what happened, never forget it for a little million years down here. And when I walked in, my daddy was standing on the back porch, old screened-in porch. Had his hand up on the old hook where we hooked the old cedar water bucket. The water bucket is sitting on the water shelf, and he had his hand. I can see him now. When I come walking up on the little porch, opened the screen door and stepped inside. And my daddy gave me a look that I've never had before or since. Ordinarily, he would have had to raise a strap and waiting for me, but this time, my daddy was so shocked and so disappointed. And he saw me come, and I came like a whipped dog. I wish I could have gone in at the side door, any door besides that door, but Daddy was standing there waiting. My mother had taken her position in the kitchen door, and she stood almost like a dead mother, except for the tears that were rolling. And Dad said, "Son, I never heard such tenderness in my dad in my life. Son, I thought I'd taught you better." That's all he said. I walked through the door, and when I did, my mother opened her mouth of mercy and said, "Son, I know it wasn't you. Some old boys you're running with." The thing that she didn't know, and I hated to tell her, it was me. It was me. And I tell you, I walked down the old long hall and went into the last bedroom on the left and had to take a look at me. I'd disappointed the two best friends I ever had, my dad and my mother. Yes, young people, the day's gonna come. The day's gonna come when God's going to remind you the old boomerang of your rebellion and disobedience to Mother and Dad is going to have to come home to you. And what a day that'll be. Jesus is your only hope. Let's read. This next verse is the one I'm going to leave with you as we close the message tonight. Today's the day of salvation, and now's the time.
You've been listening to the Family Altar program with Evangelist Lester Roloff, and today's sermon entitled, "How's Your Appetite?"